Coach, what are you seeing out of the linebackers this spring? Have you liked what you've seen?
It's been a great spring. I think starting at the basics with everything that we do, talking about our eyes, our footwork, how we do things in our meeting room, that's been the focal point of what I've tried to instill and what Coach Aranda has asked me to do. And they've done a great job of trying to listen to those little details and grow every day. And you're not trying to master it all in one day. It's a piece by piece, day by day process.
As far as the spring scrimmage tomorrow, anything in particular you hope to see?
I'm really excited to see how we're going to communicate with each other on the field. We're the quarterbacks of the defense. We should lead by our communication first and then with our effort to the ball. And we've talked about that, setting the tempo, being those leaders on that side of the ball. And if we do that, that'll be a success for me.
What was it that led to the decision for you to make the move here to Waco and join Coach Aranda's staff?
When I met Coach Aranda years ago, I noticed how he treated other people. And I knew he was a great coach. I knew he was somebody that I looked up to as a position coach, coaching linebackers defensively, and wanting to align myself with somebody that it was bigger than just football, and about the character, about the development, and the opportunity to come learn underneath him today. Even in our walkthrough, he comes by and coaches up me and the backers on things that to be looking for, and that excited me on a day-by-day basis for myself to grow and to become a better coach for the guys I'm responsible for.
Christian, what did you see in Mike, the kid from Liberty, and what does he bring to the table like this?
He did a great job. Day one, just starting from scratch, just being a great teammate, effort in the weight room, the connection with the other guys in the room. For somebody to come in a new place and to be willing to work and to build that connection, I was really excited to see him do that. And he continues to do that every day. And I'm excited to see how the whole group, how they perform together, how they gel in the summer as we take this next step. Can we be an elite group in our culture, in our room?
Of course, Dylan's gone. Have you seen some other guys step up as leaders?
Yeah, we've had some guys that were here last year that have really stepped up in the way that they approach the game, the way that they affect other people. Obviously, one being Matt Jones and guys like Josh White and Brooks Miller, guys that in the weight room, I didn't have to hear them in the weight room to know that they were pushing other people. They were doing their job, and then they were focused on what the other guys around them were doing, being in the moment, being present. This time that we have is precious, and if we're going to spend all this time together, it might as well be worthwhile.
Coach, what would you kind of consider the theme of spring for your group?
I've really tried to focus on the pride in what we do, the pride in how we break down before practice, the pride in our meeting room, our notebooks, how we take notes, focusing on the little things and not rushing. Because if we have a great foundation, it might sound cliche, but a great foundation allows us to grow later on when things come up. We were talking about a play that happened in one of the games I coached a couple years ago that we talked about in fall camp that showed up in the SEC championship game. And so are we going to be present? Are we going to focus on those things? Because they will show up. And if we're ready for them and taking pride in the little details, we can have a chance to be a great team.
What's it been like working with Coach Powledge and just kind of seeing his way of doing things, how he's coached the defense?
He's just, from day one, I mean, the first day I came to visit, me and my wife, we were looking at a house, and it was his first day back in town, and he drove all the way out there to meet us. We were on a tight schedule trying to get our stuff moved, and just him showing up and spending time with us, and he has put together a great group of guys that really we're connected. It feels like a brotherhood, and you see it on the field with the energy that we bring at practice. If we're all into it, the players are going to be all into it, and he's all in, and he's always looking for help and advice too. We all have different backgrounds, we all have seen different things, and we all want the same thing. And so how can we get there together and talk about shared commitment? He lives it every day with us, and it's evident with the players.
Christian, how was your special guest talking with the team Were you a little motivated, I guess, even?
I did, and the guys were laughing at me a little bit. I was just scribbling down notes. How often do you get to listen to somebody of that stature who played the position at the school you're at that has done everything that you would wish you could do? And so for our guys, it's easy to sometimes brush things off and just, it's another thing. You live a little bit longer, you see how important taking words and trying to apply it to your life. And Coach Singletary, he coached one of my teammates, and I got a chance to grab him before he ran off the field, and just talking about, we came from the same place, and to watch him coach him on some of the clips I've seen and inside the meeting rooms, it's an honor. And I talk about him to a lot of people that are coming to visit our school and to visit and talk about the position. This is a great place with a great history of people playing that position. He's one of them.
Who was a teammate?
Alec Ogletree. He was drafted by the Rams, and I remember watching him and just seeing him get coached. And I don't have it all figured out, and that's what I try to tell these guys is, if I learn something new today that changes the way I see the world, it'll change my life. And I'm trying to teach them that every day.
Well, what's the competition been like for the linebackers this spring?
Yeah, it's been good competition, which is a good thing. And it's honestly, it doesn't even really feel like competition because we all trying to make each other better. Like, I'll mess up on something, Jonesy will coach me up on it, or Jonesy will mess up on something and I'll coach him up on it. So it's all like a big brotherhood, and we all want to see each other be successful.
Josh, you got here before last season. How much more comfortable do you feel now having all this extra time under your belt, being around the team, kind of learning the inner work?
Oh yeah, I feel very comfortable because being around longer, I got like a brotherhood with the boys now. So now I see stuff from their perspective and stuff like that.
Got a new DC, new linebackers coach. What's that been like, and how much has it changed since last year?
I feel like it hasn't changed as much, like play-wise, which is good, easy to catch on. But the main thing I feel like is like I said, it's just a brotherhood and a shared commitment and stuff like that. Like, we all care for one another and we all compete.
I know it's been a while, but can you take us back into how you got here? Coming over from LSU, obviously you knew some of the guys on staff and whatnot, but kind of take us through that process.
Yeah, so it was a long process. I had to think about it a lot because it was a big decision. And Coach Miranda had left before I got there, so I kind of stayed because Coach O was there. And then when Coach O left, and I had to make a decision to myself, is this really where I want to be? And so I talked to my people and I talked to my mom, and I decided to enter the transfer portal. And I always wanted to be coached by Coach Miranda because I know what he can do with linebackers. So as soon as I got another opportunity to be coached by him, I was like, yeah, I definitely got to come back here.
He's a unique guy, obviously. How much does the person over player mantra of this team, how much does that matter to you guys? Because so much is about the player.
Right.
What is it like to have that kind of personal side of things as well?
Right, yeah, so it means a lot because I feel like everything is a thing. So if you're doing good in school, and where you're supposed to be at all the time, that's gonna carry over to football. If you having good grades, all that's gonna carry over to football. If you're doing bad in school, your football gonna be bad. So all of those things are just wrapped up together, and that's basically what the person over player thing is really about.
You're one of the veteran defensive guys out there, especially in the line. You feel like you need to be one of those leaders?
Yes, sir, 100%. I believe my leadership needs to grow more on and off the field. I believe there's a lot of lack of leadership. I wouldn't say really lack of leadership. The leaders need to step up more, lead by a whole lot more than what we've been leading, and it'll be good.
Did you learn anything from Dylan as far as his leadership skills?
Oh, I learned a lot from Dylan with the leadership skills. I remember his girlfriend wrote like a little graduation book for him and asked me to say something about it. And that was the main thing I said, was how he taught me how to lead on and off the field, how to grow, the aspects within the football and within life that you need to prepare and grow in to be great. He taught me a lot of those things.
Is that personal side of leadership, is that almost dependent on the personality harder than even the physical side sometimes?
Yeah, I would say, can you say that one time?
Is trying to be a leader when it's not just natural for everybody to do, kind of getting out of your comfort zones. That's sometimes almost harder than the physical demands.
No, yeah, that's definitely one of the things I lack. I've always grown up more of a quiet person, more laid back, do what I got to do. But having to step out of your comfort zone, that goes a long way, even just within life. You know, you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and stepping out of your little bubble and doing what you got to do, even if it's uncomfortable. That's what's best for you and what's best for the team.
Now you've been in a couple of different positions. Where are you now, and are you getting comfortable there?
I've been in all three all spring. I've done
During the spring?
Yes, sir. I've done Jack just within not full time, but within a certain personnel. But I would say majority. I've been at will about 90%. I've done me and Mike. We'll switch here and there, but at the end of the day, the will position is the same as the Mike position, just different alignments. But yeah, I've been doing all three, and we'll see where I end up.
What did he bring to the table, Mike, when he came in?
Mike, he brought great leadership. He came in. He started in the back of the line. I guess that's just how it is when you transfer. You don't want to overstep, but he started in the back of the line, and now he's up in the front, and he's leading. If you see him out on the field, he's coaching up the other players as they maybe mess something up or needed to get something better. He's there to coach them.
What did Mike Singletary tell you guys today?
The main talk was just you got to find your four principles, which is you got to find Christ first and foremost. Find Christ, find your high on Christ. That'll get you in the best spot you can in life. And then he talked about just finding your technique, making it your own, and getting comfortable with it, and then just staying healthy. You know, no matter what people are doing out here, partying, drinking, having a fun life, you stay back and do what you're supposed to do. Stay healthy, eat right, drink right, and even though people will push you by and laugh at you and not really be your friend because you don't want to go out and do all these things, at the end of the day, you're doing what's best for you, what's best for the team, and get you where you need to get in life.
Was that pretty cool seeing him out there?
It was. I wanted to meet him for a long time now, so just seeing him, it kind of blew my mind, just being able to see him out there and get to get some wise words from him.
Did it surprise you at all, his size? I mean,
His size?
Yeah.
It did.
It
It surprised me.
not that big.
I remember seeing pictures. He looked way bigger, but just him out there, I was like, he's still small, but
He's a big old shoulder.
he's a small guy, but
packs a punch.
from what he's done and accomplished, you could tell size doesn't matter.
You've been around for a while now. Just what do you sense with this team? I know you heard a lot of guys talking about just the energy and all that, but I mean, you know the deal. You've been on winning teams, losing teams. What do you kind of sense right now?
Yeah, I sense everyone coming together really as a whole unit. I know last year everyone had their own choices, own decisions. People thought differently than everyone else on the team, and everyone was just not even on the same page, even with a few coaches. And I feel now everyone's on the same page. Everyone's working to one common goal, and that's to play in AT&T again in December. So just the atmosphere, you could tell in the atmosphere that the energy's here, the shared commitment, the brotherhood. Everyone wants what's best for each other. No one's really concerned about themselves. They're concerned about their brother next to them.
You made it a lot of fun this spring.
Oh yeah, it was very fun. It was a lot of fun.
Brooks said that the biggest difference is that you guys seem to be closer knit than any other group here. Do you agree with that? And what is it about the group, if so, that has led to that point?
You're referring to as a team or a linebacker group?
Both.
The team. Can you say that one more time? I got lost.
Brooks said that the biggest difference for you guys from the end of the bowl game
Yes.
to now is that you guys are a lot more tightly knit.
Yes.
Do you agree with that? And if so, I mean, what is it that's led to that point?
No, I do agree with Brooks a lot. We've definitely come closer. We've came tighter. And honestly, I would say a lot of it has to do with Aranda. I don't know if he's mentioned anything, but he mentions it to us. He let a lot of stuff go last year. He didn't really put his foot down as he should have. And this year he's put his foot down and he's given us like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. You don't do it, that's too bad. So he's stepped up as a coach, and everyone's realizing that he's serious and that this team needs to go to the top rather than last year.
Do you feel like he's finding his way as a head coach? I mean, this is year 4. He's still young in the head
Yes.
coaching chair.
Yeah, I definitely see him finding his way. I remember, I don't know which meeting it was, one-on-one meeting with him. He asked what he needs to do as a coach to help me grow. And my main response was just keep doing what you're doing. I remember from the beginning of the year, I think it was Ebner, he was talking in the huddle, and Ebner just shouted, "Hey, coach, talk up," or speak up, because he was just so quiet. And then in meetings and stuff, he was quiet, more laid back, and now he's found his way. He's come a long way. He talks a lot more, and he's a phenomenal coach. I like to refer to him as like a wizard.
It's good. You're going to be an older player now, so like a lot of things are going to be like the last time you're doing things and things like that. What's just been like this spring? Are you soaking it in? How have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, man. Yesterday, a lot of people were happy that we ended practice early from the storms, and I was a little disappointed because like that was my last true, besides the spring game, last true practice, spring practice as a ball player here. So it definitely hit a little different, but I know we got the summer and we got the fall. Looking forward to that.
What's it been like? You got a new position coach. How's he been to work under?
It's been great. He likes to have a great relationship with every player he has in the room, and you can tell it's not just the linebackers. He's building a relationship with the coaches, with the safeties, the offense, and it's really fun to see the energy he brings to practice, so it's just been fun to be around.
And how about having Coach Powledge back?
Oh, it's awesome because he brings that juice. I mean, you turn on the tape and he's running up and down the sideline, and so it's pretty awesome to have him back.
Does it put pressure on you to bring energy too? I mean, when you've got coaches doing that, I mean, do you have to feel like you need to bring the energy too?
Oh yeah, but it's not pressure because it's really fun to do it with him. So like me and C-Rob are jumping up and down. I mean, Mike, Matt, it's all good fun.
Seemed like you had a little more taste of playing last year, and kind of just as you're a player evolving, what's been sort of the focus for you this spring?
My technique needs to get better, and every day, I'm trying to focus on one more thing, whether it's pass rush, footwork, eyes, where I need to be, really just getting better every single day is my main focus.
What is having some more experience in your belt, how valuable is that in terms of preparing and just kind of knowing your job and what you're doing?
It is valuable with the mental aspect of the game. Like I look at an O-line, I'm looking for tips that I see in games, like the weight on the heels, the weight on the fingertips. So like getting tips from the O-line and from the games and bringing it into practice and seeing how it's gonna, like overlay together, that's what really works for me.
Which spot are you at?
Mike.
Do y'all rotate or you're at Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who else is at Mike?
It's Mike Smith, Mike Smith and Mike, and then Mike and Mike, me, Tyrone, and JJ.
Okay. Were you coming off an injury after last year? Because it seemed like you missed a good bit of the spring or weren't.
So our first Tuesday practice, I got a concussion,
Oh, okay.
and that set me out for I think it was 4 to 5 practices,
Yeah.
and then I was back after that.
Everything good?
Yes, sir.
What is the focus for you as far as wrapping up spring now, tomorrow? What does the spring game mean to you?
It's just another opportunity to play hard and play together, and that's one of our spring goals this year. So just want an opportunity to go out there and have fun with the guys and play fast.
It's going to be nice to be in front of some folks and just kind of out there at McLean and under the sun and all that.
Oh yeah, it's always a good time at McLean. It's always got to be different there.
What's the biggest difference in y'all's unit from when the bowl game wrapped up to today?
It's the relationship aspect of everything. I think there's a sense of brotherhood this year that is higher than it's ever been since I've been here.